LA's kombucha empire exploited workers for years. Kombucha has treated George Thomas Dave well. But Dave's kombucha factory treated workers terribly for years, according to a new ruling in a long-running lawsuit against his company, GT's Living Foods. Dave started selling kombucha as a teenager in the 1990s, personally delivering bottles he brewed in his parents' Bel Air home to Arrowhead Market, and GT's Living Foods remains the leading company in the market. Today, candy-colored bottles of GT's drinks, including the popular Synergy brand, line the shelves at Walmart, CVS, Whole Foods, and practically every other major retailer in the nation. As the owner of GT's, which sells about $275 million of the fermented tea drink and other beverages each year, Dave has become a billionaire, according to Forbes estimates. This year, he bought a $14 million hilltop estate just a few streets away from the two-home compound he already owned in Beverly Hills. All along, he's insisted that good vibes and a positive attitude have been the secret to his success. People's energy has an influence on the quality of the kombucha, Dave told The Times in 2008, along with an anecdote he's repeated multiple times in the 15 years since. He contended that the dark energy surrounding one early employee who was suffering from depression and then died of a heart attack caused the kombucha to go bad. As silly as it sounds, because of its living life force qualities, the kombucha is sensitive to the energy that surrounds it, Dave reiterated in 2015. Each bottle of his brew says right on the label, made with 100% pure love. World and nation. Long before US hipsters discovered it, kombucha was a staple in Russia. Boris Korkin still remembers the 3-liter jars of a fizzy, tart drink that would sit on the windowsills of the crowded, 5-room communal apartment in central Moscow where he grew up with his mother after World War II. May 15, 2018. But according to a ruling filed last week in Los Angeles County Superior Court, Dave's kombucha company subjected a number of workers to deplorable and abusive and disturbing working conditions in one of its factories in Vernon, just south of downtown Los Angeles, between 2010 and 2014. The judge in the case, William Heiberger, found that the company hired workers without legal status, knowing that they could be intimidated and abused, that it required workers to clock 12 to 14-hour shifts without adequate breaks or overtime pay, and that Dave himself, who testified in his own defense, demonstrated a total absence of credibility by contradicting himself in court. Simon Rojas, one of the plaintiffs in the case who worked in the factory, said he was very happy with the ruling. "I want all of this to come out into the light because I know other companies are doing similar things. I want people to know that you don't have to keep silent. If you're exploited, you can speak up." Dave, for his part, said in a statement to The Times that he was saddened by the ruling. "Words such as deplorable, abusive, and disturbing working conditions are contrary to the standards I set for my company since I began in 1995, he wrote. Responding to the judge's assertion that he was not a credible witness, Dave wrote in his statement, "I did my best to speak truthfully, accurately, and sincerely. It is important to recognize that this case is over 10 years old. Therefore, it can be difficult to specifically remember every detail, date, and event." The ruling marks a milestone in a consolidated lawsuit that began a decade ago. In it, the court awarded more than $450,000 in restitution to 11 workers at one of Dave's kombucha factories under California's unfair competition laws, with some awarded nearly $59,000 in unpaid back wages. One worker, Arsemio Garay, was awarded a little more than $180,000, in part because the court found that the company wrongfully pocketed wages garnished from his paycheck for a personal debt. This suit is only the first phase of a number of linked lawsuits alleging that GT's Living Foods and its associated firms violated California labor laws. The violations have affected thousands of employees in the last decade, the lawsuits allege. California. Many immigrant workers face a grim future without retirement benefits. A California bill could help. California AB 1536 would make undocumented immigrants eligible for the Cash Assistance Program for Immigrants, CAPI, which aids elderly, blind, and disabled